Don't like just starting now, oh, the universe is mental, and just do everything mentally. You still have to do some things physically. You still have to go to work, you still have to go to school, you still have to take a bath, you still have to do things. So you cannot just be like wish bula bula abracadabra mental, everything appear. Nothing happens like that. So that was hi. Welcome to another episode of Mitota Talks Crazy. And here today I'm blonde. So that's where we are today. And today we're going to continue our Kebalon series. And what chapter are we in? So we're in Divine Paradox. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about Divine Paradox. So like stay tuned, let's talk this crazy shit out. And yeah, I got my titties out today. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So, Divine Paradox. The half-wise recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws. Such are the vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements, by reason of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against law, the higher against the lower, and by the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but using the higher forces against the lower and escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher transmutation. Not presumptuous denial is the weapon of the master. What it's saying is that transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. This is the paradox of the universe resulting from the principle of polarity, which manifests when the all begins to create. Study it, for it points the difference between half wisdom and wisdom. Why to the infinite or the universe and its laws, its powers, its life, its phenomena are as things witnessed in the state of meditation or dream. Yet to all that is finite, the universe must be treated as real, and life and action and thoughts must be based thereupon accordingly. Were the all to imagine that the universe were indeed reality, then woe to the universe, for there would be no escape from lower to higher divine world. Then the universe would become a fixity and progress would become impossible. So also, if man, owing to the half wisdom, acts and lives and think of the universe as merely a dream, to his own finite dream, then indeed does it become for him, and like a sleepwalker, he stumbles ever around and around in a circle, making no progress and being forced into awakening at last by his falling, bruised and bleeding ever natural laws which he ignored. What the Divine Paradox is trying to say in this particular text I just read now is that if you ignore the natural laws, because even if you know the absolute laws and the laws of the hermetic principles, and even if you know the laws of the world, you still have to relate it to yourself as a human being. So if you try to ignore the normal law of matter and the lower laws that we know, if you ignore those ones, you're going to stumble over them. And yeah, it says that keep your mind ever on the star, but let your eyes watch over your footsteps, lest you fall into the mire by reason of your upward gaze. So not because you just learned something or you saw something doesn't mean that you can just take it and interpret it how you like or use it how you like without like still trying to relate it to yourself, and not like because you know a little bit about the universe start thinking you're like superhuman or something. Remember the divine paradox that while the universe is not still, it is. While the universe is not still, it is. Remember ever the two poles of truth, the absolute and the relative. Beware of half-truths. So don't ever, there are always absolute and relative truths, and both of them are always like correct. You understand? Like let me say, like me now, from my point of view now, if I want to like, if you ask me about my experience in the world at large, from my point of view as an African, as a Nigerian, it will be different from somebody else's point of view that is living in America or in Australia or somewhere else. That doesn't mean that what I'm saying is wrong or what the person is saying is wrong, but it only means that like we're only saying it based on what is relative to us. But we can also look at we still have things in common, and we can also look at what we have in common based on the fact that we're both living in the same planet and in the same world. So like, I know this is crazy, but this is Metoda Talks crazy. So guys, what we have in common, the one that like the higher laws and like the absolute laws, but like there's some normal relative laws you have to relate to. What hermetists know as law of paradox is an aspect of the principle of polarity. The hermetic writings are filled with references to the appearance of the paradox in the consideration of the problems of life and being. Hermetic teachers are constantly warning their students against the error of omitting the other side of any question, and their warnings are particularly directed to the problems of the absolute and the relative, which perplex all students of philosophy and which cause so many to think and act contrary to what is generally known as common sense. And we caution all students to be sure to grasp the divine paradox of the absolute and relative, lest they become entangled in the mire of half-truths. With this in view, this particular lesson has been written. All truths are but half-truths. That was the thing I just trying to say. All truths are, I think I've read that somewhere. All truths are half-truths. So you always have to consider from your point of view and from the other point of view. So before we progress in the law, in the seven principles, the seven hermetic principles, before we go deeper into the book, into the Kebalon that we're studying now, we have to first understand the divine paradox, and it's very, very important. The first thought that comes to the thinking man after he realizes the truth that the universe is a mental creation of the all is that the universe and all that it contains is a mere illusion and an unreality against which idea is instinct revolts. What's saying here? The first time you first hear about like the mental universe and how everything is created in the mind of the all, or when you go to church and start talking about the Holy Spirit and how God is the creator and the spirit of everything. Yeah, that is your own truth, but that's about half truth. You have to still consider from your own point of view too, and you have to still find a way to relate whatever you're learning from that particular school of thought or whatever you're thinking about. You have to still consider how it relates to you as a human. Don't like just start thinking that the universe is mental and just do everything mentally. You still have to do some things physically. You still have to go to work, you still have to go to school, you still have to take a bath, you still have to do things. So you cannot just be like wish bula bula abracadabra mental, everything appear. Nothing happens like that. So that's what this is trying to say. But this, like all other great truths, must be considered both from the absolute and the relative point of view. From the absolute point of view, of course, the universe is in the nature of an illusion, a dream, a phantasmagoria. Don't worry, when I was writing this thing, I was like, what is that? A phantasmagoria? I think like a dream or something, as compared to the whole in itself. We recognize this even in our ordinary view, for we speak of the world as a fleeting show that comes and goes, is born, that comes and goes. People are being born and they die. For the element of impermanence and change, finiteness and unsubstantiality must ever be connected with the idea of the created universe when it is contrasted with the idea of the all, no matter what may be our beliefs concerning the nature of both. So like the thing is, we know about how rhythm, the principle of rhythm, how things come and go, how people die and how people are born again, how societies rise and fall. So that's what this side is trying to like talk about. Is the ring light just off and I don't know, I just lost it. I put it back on. I'm not talking about my makeup for this scene. I do love on my face. I don't think it's showing. This showing well, I don't know. Everything is looking kind of crazy, but cool today. I'm going. Let's not just talk. This thing keeps offing. Oh, for some reason my ring light is not cooperating because power bank is dying or something. So I'm gonna do without ring light. I don't even know if the ring light is doing anything because it's small ring light. Now you're cutting the big one, so fuck that. We're doing without ring lights. They fuck that. I don't know where I was again. Grabs plants. I'll cut the video short or something. Like I don't like when I'm doing stuff and like my ring light or something. But I was one that I've been using the power bank since, and I was using the ring light for torch. Philosopher, metaphysician, scientist, and theologians all agree upon this idea, and the thought is found in all forms of philosophy, thought, religion, conception, as well as in the theories of respective schools of metaphysics and theology. So the Hermetic teachings do not preach the unsubstantiality of the universe in any stronger terms than those more familiar to you, although their presentation of the subject may seem somewhat startling. So what this side is trying to say is that even these days, even matter have been debunked, and they're saying that everything in the universe now is now like vibration and energy, energy that just vibrate together. That what makes matter. You got no winning any bangle or any watch or any ring. So what this is trying to say that even in the Bible, that's theology. Even in religion, they all believe in the unsubstantiality of the universe. The universe is like fleeting. Like the universe is not like how we see it to be. It's not like as even philosophy says say everything is mental, everything happens in the mind. So what you're trying to say is that not only the 7 Hermetic principles that believe in the unsubstantiality of the universe, but also we have to also believe in the substantiality. We have to believe in the reality of the universe, and also still believe in the other part too. So anything that has a beginning and an end must be in a sense unreal and untrue, and the universe comes under the rule in all schools of thought. From the absolute point of view, there is nothing real except the all, no matter what terms we may use in thinking of or discussing the subject. So there's nothing absolutely everywhere except the Holy Spirit, the all, that kind of. So whether the universe be created of matter or whether it be a mental creation in the mind of the all, it is unsubstantial and non-enduring, a thing of time, space, and change. We want you to realize this fact thoroughly before you pass judgment on the Hermetic conception of the mental nature of the universe. So think over any and all of the other conceptions and see whether this is not true in one form or another. So you have to think about any whatever like school of thought or religion or whatever you believe in, even in atheists, people that don't believe in any religion, any god or anything. Me, I'm kind of like an atheist too, so even them too, the universe too is kind of unsubstantial to them in a way, but like there are always two ways of things. So, but the absolute point of view shows merely one side of the picture. The other side is the relative one. Absolute truth has been defined as things as the mind of God knows them, while relative truth is things as the highest reasoning of man understands them. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So, like, imagine God now looking down at us. Me, I was raised a Christian. I believe in Christianity and all that. You know what I'm saying? So forget that I'm a Nigerian lesbian trying to talk shit on YouTube. I'm still a Christian bitch, even if, but you can't trip me with that. You can't really trip me because they don't accept my sexuality in my religion. So now I don't really give that much of a fuck about the religion. You know, I don't really give that much of a fuck. So what I'm saying is that, what was I saying? I just got in my feelings for no reason. Oh, yeah, imagine God looking from up. The biblical God looking from up, and imagine how he's going to view the world in the honest of everything. That's what is absolute. That's absolute view. That's the absolute viewpoint. But the relative is how like man sees from his own point of view. For him looking up and looking outward to the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you do. So you consider understanding. And so while oh my god, I thought I was not filming. So while to the all, the universe must be unreal and illusionary, a mere dream or result of meditation, nevertheless, to the finite mind forming a part of the universe and viewing it through mortal faculties, the universe is very real and indeed must be considered, because like to the mind of the universe is just like abracadabra zoom, but like to us it's like whoo, that kind of thing. Oh, crazy up in this motherfucker. Anyway, recognizing the absolute view, we must not make the mistake of ignoring or denying the facts and phenomena of the universe as they present themselves to our mortal faculties. we are not the all. Remember, so like to take familiar illustrations, we all recognize the fact that matter exists to our senses. We will fare badly if we do not, and yet even our finite mind understand the scientific dictum that there is no such thing as matter from the scientific point of view. So that which we call matter is held to be merely an aggregation of atoms, which atoms themselves are merely a grouping of units of force called electrons or ions, vibrating and in constant circular motions. We kick a stone and we feel the impact. It seems to be real, notwithstanding that we know that it be merely that we have stated above, like it's just atoms and electrons just vibrating together. But remember that our foot, which feels the impact by means of our brains, is likewise matter, also constituted of electrons, and for that matter, so are our brains. And at the best, if we were not by reason of our mind, we will not know the foot or stone at all. So the thing is, what this pattern is saying, that both the absolute and the relative are both working together. Like when you kick a stone now, you know that it is a stone. How do you know it is a stone? Because you know everything and you know, okay, that is a stone. But the fact that you feel it is like the relative aspect of it. And what this side also says is that we also composed of matter. So of course they will understand each other. They relate matter and matter. They will also understand each other. So then again, the idea of the artist or sculptor, which is enduring to reproduce in stone or on canvas, seems very real to him. So do the characters in the mind of the author or dramatist, which he seeks to express so that others may recognize them. And if this be true in the case of our finite minds, what must be the degree of reality in the mental images created in the mind of the infinite? Oh friends, to mortals, this universe of mentality is very real indeed. It is the only one we can ever know, although we rise from plane to plane, higher and higher in it. To know it otherwise by actual experience must be the all itself. It is true that the higher we rise in the scale, the nearer to the mind of the Father we reach. The more apparent becomes the illusionary nature of the finite things, but not until the all finally withdraws us into itself does the vision actually vanish. So we need not dwell upon the feature or illusion. Rather, let us recognizing the real nature of the universe seek to understand its mental laws and endeavor to use them to the best effect in our upward progress through life as we travel from plane to plane of being them. So everybody's bound by the laws of the universe except the all. And what is in the infinite mind of the all is real in a degree second only to that reality itself, which is vested in the nature of the all. So do not feel insecure or afraid. We are all held firmly in the infinite mind of the all. There is no power outside the all to affect us, so we may rest calm and secure. There is a world of comfort and security in this realization. Then calm and peaceful do we sleep, rocked in the cradle of the deep, resting safely on the bosom of the ocean of infinite mind, which is the all. In the all indeed do we live and move and have our being. In the all do we move and live and have our being. You know what? I'm going to cut this into two. I mean, yeah, that is tacky, but yeah, we tacky all up in this motherfucker. So like, basically, you guys get what the law of the divine paradox is trying to say. What it's trying to say is that do not ignore the laws that you can relate to. Do not ignore the lower laws, the laws which you consider lower laws. Do not ignore them because all of a sudden you just got hold of a little bit of wisdom, or a little bit of a higher law that you think is a higher law for you. And I feel a little bit kind of some type of way because I'm filming this without any type of light, only daylight, and I don't want to not film because I already done my makeup. So like I'm gonna just do without the lights today, and I'll try to charge my power bank next time. And I want to cut this video into two so that it not be too long. But this the part one of Divine Paradox is over. Let's move over to the part two. You know what I'm saying? Hi guys. So yeah, let's watch the next one now.